Hello, everybody. Welcome to the JJ and Pug Show. It is February 26th, 2025. We are recording from the Highland Communities Podcast Studios. And this was a song that we listened to in part 2 of last week that never got released because I never recorded Jason's mic. And so it was literally just me talking to myself, like talking to a ghost. This right here is Rooney.
A terrible person.
Name of the song is I'm a Terrible Person. And this is from like 2003, 2002, something like that.
I hope it just keeps saying the same thing over again.
That'd be great.
Like tequila.
Hey, repetitive, man. It gets you.
It works.
Like, listen, my daughter was just listening to Baby by Justin Bieber.
Oh, yeah.
The whole time I'm listening, I'm like, this has got to be the worst song that's ever been written. And it's a massive hit. All he says is baby, baby, baby.
And here we are talking about it.
Yeah.
On our world famous podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He just getting more
Freaking
people.
Biebs, man.
Yeah, Bieber Fever was a legit thing.
It was, absolutely.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, bro. My kids were that age. Like, we listened to it all the time.
Yeah, dude, my
like,
girls.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it's gone now. They like that song because he looks like a child.
Oh, yeah.
But the Bieber now, I'm like, glad that ain't part of my family.
He kind of went down a dark place.
I think he just kind of like disappeared, didn't he?
Yeah, but after he went all like dark, he's all tatted out completely.
Yeah, that's what everybody
he's
does.
been through this whole like, I think he found himself or some crap too. But I think all these child stars go through so much crap when they start out real young like that it's like
their whole concept on reality's got to be so warped.
You know who's a great example of that concept of reality is completely warped? Taylor Swift. She is a giant icon of the pop world, but when she dabbles into her beliefs or politics or whatever, you're like, why are you even talking? Like, you know nothing. Just stop. Like, and the problem is she's very influential. So regardless of what any of her followers know or think they know, if she says anything, they're going to go that route. So, like, I don't think you should be able to talk about that stuff as a celebrity in the sense of influence. Like, so I'm sorry,
I'm
but
going to push back pretty hard on that,
and
because
that's fine. It's freedom of speech, and I get it. But the problem is you're talking uneducatedly, and you're making yourself seem like you know things based on how you feel and believe. Keep that to yourself. Like, so go vote. Yes, vote. Push voting. Push all that stuff. But you shouldn't be voting for somebody because Taylor Swift's voting for them.
No, I think that's true of just about everybody. Right. I mean, you shouldn't be voting for somebody or something just because of your favorite celebrity. But this is where I'm like to say, that's literally what Donald Trump did. He is a celebrity. That is what he is. And now he's the president of the United States. You want to talk about somebody who has absolutely no grasp of reality? Talk about the guy born with a silver spoon in his mouth, inherited a real estate empire, did nothing to grow it, and became the president of the United States. And now his henchman, the right-hand guy, Elon Musk, the richest man in the world. You want to talk about these guys know anything about what the normal person's dealing with? Have they ever dealt with it?
They don't, but I think
Elon might have, actually.
Elon was kind of like, he started out with PayPal back in the day. You know, I think he probably came from, he did come from pretty much nothing. I mean,
I don't know where he came from. I know he's from South Africa, which that in itself is sketchy. Yeah. White guy from South Africa. Look him up, guys. They're not great. Don't have a great history of that.
Yeah, the cougar ran.
Yeah, that's a sketchy history there.
So yeah, I don't know, man. I just hate people that get involved with, like, I feel like, look, I don't like to preach my point of view from anybody else. Like, but I don't have a whole ton of followers either. But I think you have to take the weight of that, right? Is like, look, I get, like, because I believe this, that, or the other doesn't mean that you should believe that unless you believe that.
Yeah.
Don't just follow me to follow me blindlessly like freaking sheep in this world. I think that's probably the bigger problem. There's so many damn sheep in this world.
No,
dude.
that's true. I will say this. I think they have less influence in that sphere than we want to believe. And the reason why I say it is, dude, she came out all as, hey, I'm a childless cat lady. Vote for Kamala. Did it work?
No.
Nope. It didn't.
Not this time. I think it helped the first time with the Biden swing and stuff where she was pro-Biden.
No, I think that one had everything to do with the riots. That had everything to do with the George Floyd riots. The year of 2020 was such a freaking mess. I think that the reason why Joe Biden won and the reason why so many people showed up is everybody was stuck
Allegedly.
at home. I believe it.
Just kidding.
Everybody showed up. I mean, you see, everybody was at home. Everyone was affected by what happened in 2020. There wasn't a single person whose life was completely unaffected by it, right? And so therefore, everybody felt like they had to say something, and the way they say something is with a vote. I think 2020 is just an anomaly in every way, shape, and form, and that's the reason why Joe Biden won. It's just a avalanche of crap that happened that year, and everything hit the news. You know what's crazy, dude? We still don't ever mention or talk about the fact that Donald Trump was shot.
it doesn't come up. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's completely irrelevant. And he was shot, and then they had another assassination attempt at his golf course or whatever, right? Where, we're going to keep that under wraps, dude, because you can't. Now, dude, you can only imagine the outcry if this was Kamala Harris on the other aspect who had this stuff happen to her,
dude,
right?
I was listening to this debate show, and it was conservatives versus liberals, and it was before, and I just listened to it like a week ago, and it was taking place before the election, after the assassination attempt where he was shot, right? And everybody on the conservative side was like, "Oh, this is gonna fuel his win. We're gonna be talking about this for years to come." And I remember you and I talking about it, like a month later, never got brought up. Nope. Nobody mentioned it. It was like, holy crap! I can't believe that went so.
That's the power of the media.
Yeah,
they stop everything right now. What's the big push in the media right now?
I mean, I can think of a few things.
What's the big thing we seem to have happening more now than ever before?
Are you talking about plane crashes?
Yes. Yeah. Like, what is going on, dude? But why do we? You know, what's funny is so I saw a post, and I didn't fact check the post, but it's just interesting that these things come across the feed of like, we're really not having any more close calls than we did in 2024 at the beginning. It's just the media is pushing the view of it all for whatever freaking reason. Well, I don't know.
Well, close calls and actual wrecks are different, right?
Dude, like, did you see the one in Chicago yesterday?
No.
Bro, Southwest plane landing, touches ground, private airliner pulls out right in front of it. Pilot has to lift the plane back up in the air and takes off again.
Oh my gosh.
On the Southwest plane. Great thinking on the Southwest guy, right? He saw it. But how are you a private, like he's in like a Learjet, right? Like a nice jet. Yeah. How do you not see this giant 747 landing to your right, bro? Like, I'm going to taxi's clear. And you know what? This brings up an interesting conversation I had. And this could be touchy, but I don't think it's touchy. I think could this be a product of DEI?
Well, if you want to listen to the guy in charge, he says it is.
And I've never heard him talk about it. And you're talking about Trump? I know they're getting rid of DEI
He
stuff.
specifically blamed DEI for the wreck in Washington, D.C.
Well, it begs a point, right? Like, I don't agree with him or disagree with him, but let's just talk about the fact that, let's look at some pointers here. You know, like over time, when you take something and you use diversity, equality, and inclusion, right, DEI, as a hiring premise over the most qualified person for the job, whether that be your black, white, purple, pink, or yellow, doesn't matter. Eventually, things are going to start happening when you're not the most qualified for the job or you really don't know what you're doing. And it happens actually like another point, take the pilot thing off. It's or the plane thing. It's New Orleans, right? The New Year's Eve. Yeah. The police chief. She's a DEI hire, like outwardly so, right? She had no idea you could use vehicle barricades on the streets to keep people from doing what that madman did. She didn't even know they existed. What?
I can't speak to any of that because one, I didn't know anything about her.
Right.
But it's hard for me to have this conversation specifically about the air traffic controllers because it's like Trump said it with he didn't give any evidence of it.
No.
And there's been nobody that's been able to corroborate and say, yeah, this was a DEI situation. Agreed. In fact, what did they do instead? They slashed the budget of the FAA. So now we have less air traffic controllers when we're having more wrecks. So like, I don't know, man.
I see, and I'm not. This is not a Trump point for me. I know. We were talking about this, and I'm like, you just wonder if it does have something to do with it. Because again, you are in home building, right?
Yeah.
If I take a contractor who's bottom of the road and I give him the job because, well, I have to. Dude. How many times is your wall? I mean, how long until your house house falls down?
No. This is so terrible. It's so terrible. I saw this Instagram reel, right? Now, so everybody know the source, know that it's not it's Instagram. Like it's Instagram. Like it could be completely crap. I don't know. It was funny though. I won't deny that I laughed at it. And it was like a commercial for an all-female roofing crew. And let me tell you when I say it was one of the worst jobs I've ever seen done. Nobody was roped off. Every single OSHA violation you could ever imagine. If the inspector ever showed up to that site, canceled.
Done.
Like it was so bad. But it was like hey, everything men can do, women can do. And it shows them up there and I'm like, oh, girls, that's not the way you do it. I mean, maybe the way you do it where you're at, but that wouldn't fly here. But your point is well taken. We talked about it before, and we're not going to get into what we were talking about. But the idea, we all want to believe in a true meritocracy where whoever has earned it gets it. Nothing else matters.
Yeah.
Qualifications only matter as who earned it gets it. Nothing else matters. The problem is in the history of this world, that's never been the case.
Right.
And I said, at the time we were having the conversation, I said the only place I think it truly exists is in the National Football League. It doesn't even exist in Major League Baseball or the NBA. It probably does in hockey, but I really don't know. I don't follow hockey enough. Yeah. But I say in the NFL, it's like the minute you are no longer useful for the team, they cut you with no remorse.
Nope.
There is no, hey, you know what? This guy's been a great standard carrier for the team. We're going to let him hang on for a couple more years. Nope. There was none of that. It was the minute you are no longer useful to the team, they cut you. You're gone. And I can think of many times in my history as a fan of the NFL when a player got cut and being like, no way, that guy got cut? I can't remember his name right now, but I specifically remember it was a 49ers safety in the late 90s. I can't remember his name. I can see his face. And he got cut. And I'm reading the newspaper. Yeah, newspaper, y'all. I read the newspaper as a child. And I'm reading it, and I say it to my brother-in-law.
John Lynch. No, I'm just kidding.
I said, no, it was the 49ers. It was
I know.
I can't remember his name, but anyway, I say it to my brother-in-law, Dave. I can't believe it. Dave, they cut this guy. And my brother-in-law, without flinch, he's like, he must have sucked. And that was immediately, I'm like, but no, he doesn't suck. He's really good. And he's like, not going to that team anymore. And that guy never played again.
And that's,
that was it. But that doesn't exist anywhere else. No. And so the whole idea of DEI is like lots of things. It starts with a good idea and then gets ruined because then it's pushed too far. And those people that truly are qualified that maybe don't fit that diversity, equity, inclusion,
bubble.
Yeah, bubble or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. They don't hit that. Out. They don't check that mark.
Yeah, and then they get pushed out and you don't hear about them anymore. And like I said, if we could guarantee a true meritocracy where whatever is earned is given, then we wouldn't have to have these programs.
Yeah.
But they don't exist. By the way, oh, geez, excuse me.
You all right, buddy?
Yeah, dude, I hope something come back up there. I had to say this before. Shout out to Jenna for Rooney. She introduced me to that band, and I've loved them ever since. That was my girlfriend in high school. Good job on you. The band still rocks. All right. So, it's funny, we started talking about this. I didn't really mean to go start with that way, but I am getting a little bit worried here, man. You know I love history. You know I specifically love World War II history.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm getting a little bit worried about how history seems to be repeating itself a little bit here.
It does all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time. Quick little history lesson, y'all. Back in the 1930s, the Nazis took over Germany. I'm not going to give you the whole history, but it took about 15 or 12 years for the Nazis to truly gain all party control of Germany. They did it. And when that happened, they took over a Germany that was held under lots of sanctions based on the Treaty of Versailles, which was signed after World War I, that severely limited their territory, banned them from having a military. It was really hard on Germany, but guess what? Germany, you fight against the world's going to come for payback. Like, that's just the way it works, okay? And so lots of things were restricted and taken away from them. When the Nazis took over, they started to expand that. They grew an army organically called the Brown Shirts, and then eventually turned it into the full-on SS and then a full-on military. They slowly started expanding their borders, going to these areas where they were not supposed to be anymore. One specifically place is called the Rhineland. It's the space between Germany and France, and basically it was supposed to be a no man's land. Well, Germany went back into it. All the world leaders said, all right, well, you know what? Technically, that was Germany's area. We're going to let it slide. You can take that. We're not going to fight you on it, but you can take that. Well, as they kept going on, they eventually started moving into Austria because guess where Hitler's from, y'all? He's from Austria. So they go into Austria. They annex Austria. Now that's a part of Germany. Okay, well, Austria seemed to be happy about it, so we're not going to cause a fuss. No big deal. And then Germany goes and takes what's called the Rhineland, which is I'll call it like a crown of Czechoslovakia, like a sliver around the edges of it. It's not the interior. And people are like, okay, well, I guess the people there voted. They wanted to be a part of Germany, so we're going to let that slide too. You know, Germany, you're pushing some buttons, but don't you go too far. Eventually, that turns into a full-on, hey, we're taking Czechoslovakia. So, okay, well, you took the Rhineland, so I guess you can have that. I'm saying this it's just slowly encroaching on these other countries and started taking little bits and pieces of them to where eventually World War II breaks out on September 1st, 1939, when they invade Poland. And now, full on, France and UK say, all right, we're going to defend Poland because they don't have a military of their own. Now World War II starts. That's the official start of it in Europe. About a week before that, Russia and Germany signed what they called a non-aggression pact, meaning we're going to both invade Poland. You take the eastern half, Russia. We'll take the western half as Germany. These are two countries that have absolutely nothing in common, but they don't want to get into a fight with each other. Well, as we know, World War II goes for years, deadliest conflict in world history. Millions upon millions of people are killed, both in the military and civilians. Like it's just an awful situation. Okay, I don't have to give you all that history, but I wanted to because in 2014, Russia invaded a little part of Ukraine and said, "This is ours now." Which was theirs
in 2014.
In 2014. Okay. Why can't I think of the peninsula? The name of the peninsula. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, so they invade that part, and Hitler, Putin says it's because that is actually Russia. It should have always been a part of Russia. When the Soviet Union fell apart, that wasn't supposed to go to Ukraine. It's supposed to be Russia. And the people there are Russians. So they hold an election, as claimed, and the election says, yeah, we want to be a part of Russia. Well, I don't know if anybody else other than me, I don't believe that election was absolutely fair at all. I think it was just like every single other election that Putin's been a part of. His thumb was on the scale there and said, nope, I'm going to go ahead and make this go in my favor. That's the way he's done everything. Why would he not continue to do that? No reason to believe he wouldn't do it. Crimea, by the way. Crimea was what it was. That was the name of the peninsula. Okay, world says, fine. No big deal. You can take that little tiny sliver. It's yours now. We're not going to cause a big fuss about it because all it's going to do is create a world war. We don't want a war. We don't want to have to deal with nuclear power. So no big deal. They cut it out. And then we all know what happened in 2022, right? Russia starts a special military action, air quotes there, that turns into a full-on invasion of Ukraine. Every single former Soviet bloc country has feared this since the fall of the Soviet Union, that they would eventually get brought back into the Soviet Union. I bring this up as a big thing because do you know what happened in the UN resolution? I think it was 2 weeks ago or a week ago.
No.
There was a UN resolution, which again, just goes to show the absolute pointlessness of the UN. It's so weak. It has no power to do anything. It's very frustrating. The idea of it is great. Its execution's terrible. They drafted a resolution to say, if we're going to have peace, we need to go down to the official record that the reason why this war started in Ukraine was because Russia invaded. Well, guess what the United States did say? The United States stepped in and said, nope, we're not going to do that. Instead, let's sign this other resolution that specifically states that this conflict happened because of Ukraine. It was Ukraine's fault that this conflict happened. No fault upon Russia at all. And guess who are the three countries that support that? Russia, United States, and China. Three most powerful countries in the world. Okay? So what's the UN going to do? The UN's not going to stop it. They're going to go with that. The thing that I have a problem with that is that's literally changing history. Anybody who knows the history knows that's not what happened. Ukraine got invaded by Russia because Ukraine wanted to join NATO because Ukraine feared Russia would invade them. Now, there's a longer history there as to why that would be the case, but I think it's crazy that our president is fully on board with supporting Russia in taking over those portions of the Ukraine that they've been fighting for. And
camera hasn't been recording the whole time, just so you know.
Fantastic.
And I totally did it right when we started, too.
Well,
it's fine.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, I'm a little bit worried about it, man. Like I said, history always repeats itself. Now, Germany did those things in a lot closer succession. They didn't do it over a course of 10 years. But if you ask Latvia, Estonia, Finland just joined NATO because they don't want this to happen to them. Belarus is different because they are also run by a dictator who's very, 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 very cozy with Russia. But Ukraine is the first one to actually be attacked. And I think it's because Ukraine is, by lots of historians and lots of people that believe that Russia truly looks at Ukraine and saying, no, that's Russia. That's not Ukraine. That is not a country that exists. It's Russia. And guess what Putin used to do? He used to be in the KGB. For the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
So is it hard to believe that this guy has dreams of reuniting the Soviet Union? No, not hard to believe that. Not hard to believe that at all. And as I said before, I have some weird connection to this because my sister's from Moldova, which is a tiny little country right next to Ukraine. My brother's from Moldova. My other brother's from Russia. She's not a sister or even a half sister, but she's, a non-related sister.
Yeah.
Who is very, very involved in this. Her brother still lives in Moldova, and she's been helping him, sending aid and stuff to get people out of Ukraine and so they can escape and get away from the fighting. It's just, I don't know. I hate the fact that Trump is so cozy with Putin. I hate it. I'm all for stopping the war, 100% all for it. But the way he's going about it is literally bowing down to the king here.
I don't know enough about it to speak anything about it. So
Okay.
I could give an opinion, but it wouldn't be justified because I don't follow it. Part of me thinks maybe if you're, does the devil you know better than the devil you don't with like dealing with Putin and just siding with maybe trying to go that route of just schmoozing it. I don't know. Like I said, I am completely uneducated with it, but does that make sense in that idea of, could he be doing something to try to just say, hey, look, this is we know Russia. We know what's going to happen if we don't kind of, I don't want to say bend the knee, but I've been watching a lot of Game of Thrones. but at the same time, like maybe he's just trying to play politics. I have no idea.
There's lots of things out there. Like I said, if it ultimately ends the war, I think everyone's going to be happy that people are no longer dying. I think ultimately that could be the positive that we get out of this. The negative I see is prior to the invasion of Poland by the Nazi Germans, Neville Chamberlain was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He, the entire time, was ignoring Winston Churchill, who was not the Prime Minister, because Winston kept saying, no, Hitler he's a dictator. He's going to go in and he's going to kill people. That's what he's going to do. He's going to start a war. We need to fight this now. Neville Chamberlain, the Prime Minister at the time, said, nope, I'm not doing it. Goes to Germany, gets a peace treaty, not a full-on treaty, but basically saying, yeah, Hitler says he won't fight anymore. Comes back, famous images of him waving the paper in the air saying, we have peace. Guess what? We didn't have peace. And Neville Chamberlain got booted and Winston Churchill in, who's one of the most famous leaders of a country, definitely of the last century, maybe the last 200 years, I don't know. But I look at it and saying is, any time that you give a guy like Putin the benefit to say, okay, you know what, you're right. We're going to go ahead and give you what you want. Just make sure you don't do it anymore, man.
You give them an inch, they take a mile. That idea, right?
Yeah. He's gonna okay, well, guess what? I got away with that. I'll get away with more. Like, that's literally what Germany did. That's what Hitler did. He got away with everything up until he didn't. And I'm not saying we're going to go to war with Russia. Trust me, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, that'd be bad.
No, it would be.
The nuclear football would be crazy.
It's over. Literally, the world is over. Like, that's it. So, like, I'm not saying that.
Could you survive a nuclear war?
No.
Like, okay, let's just hear me out here. This is going to go off the rails a little bit. Okay. But I'm curious, like, we all know about how bad nuclear war would be. And we know that, like...
At least we think we do.
We have an idea of how bad the consequences are, whatever, right? To be really bad. But I'm talking like, here we are, right? Let's just say they drop a nuke in Washington, D.C., okay?
Oh, I think we would be okay.
But what would be how okay would we be? Life doesn't change for us in the health aspect. Like, obviously... there'd be tons of chaos.
Oh, yeah, chaos would ensue for sure.
Take that aspect out.
Look,
I'm talking
human life exists.
Could human life exist in Arizona if a nuke is dropped in Washington, D.C.?
Yes.
And then, if so, what are the conditions like?
So, are you familiar at all with Chernobyl?
Yeah, it's I've heard of it. Yeah.
Okay. So Chernobyl was a nuclear power plant in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Had, in fact, there's an HBO series about it. I hear it's really good. Never watched it. I kind of want to watch it, but
maybe that's why I felt like I've heard, I'm more so identified with it. Maybe I've seen the series come through or something. Anyway,
in the late 80s, the nuclear reactor to the power plant, I don't know if I can say exploded, but basically the entire town of Chernobyl was decimated and covered in radiation. Nobody's been there I don't think anybody went there for 20 years, and then people started going back in radiation suits to see what had happened. And you can look up tons of it. It's a freaking ghost town.
How far do you? How close? Can you get?
Miles away. Like, people were miles.
How did they keep you out?
I guess you can go in there. You're just going to die. You're going to get cancer and die.
Like, how does that work? Like, that's why I think
the radiation will kill you. And
eventually,
eventually it will kill you. If it not immediately, eventually it will. I mean, that's why you hear about people that lived in small towns in western Utah. Lots of them end up getting cancer and dying in their 50s because their water supply contaminated from the nuclear test in the Nevada desert.
I feel like there's something like that with my on my in-law side because they lived in Snowflake forever.
Yeah,
you know, and like back when they had that stuff, they were like founding like settlers of Snowflake when they had. So there was like cancer or something that came from some stuff, and I don't know exactly enough about it. But
I don't know if we actually have a full on like connection between them. I just know a lot of people, a lot of friends of mine, their parents passed away young from cancers, and they grew up in the same small Utah towns that were not next to, but I would say within some proximity of the Nevada testing sites. And when that radiation gets up in the air, who knows what jet stream is hitting and where it's falling.
All I think of is hills have eyes, bro.
So I mean, that's the real stuff though.
But that's like they go into, there's like these abandoned. Have you seen the movie?
I know what it is.
So like there's like abandoned homes with these nuclear home like towns where they've done this testing and stuff, and these people are. No, I mean they're
hill people.
The movie terrified me, bro.
It's
like,
scary,
I will
man.
never take a back road in New Mexico. Still, like it's just not worth it.
Yeah. Well, for me, I take the I-40. And that's all I do in New Mexico. I-40, I-10. I ain't stopping.
I'm not. Yeah,
just keep on moving.
Wait till we get to Texas.
Yeah. I don't know why I am, but I take it back. I've been in Albuquerque a couple times.
I've stopped in Albuquerque and Santa Fe on the way to a college visit.
Yeah, I've never stopped in anywhere else.
Yeah,
I mean, even when I was on the I-10, it's a tiny strip. But anyway, all right. Well, it's funny how much of that we talked about. That wasn't all planned. I just really wanted to talk about the fear that I have of what's going on and the.
Well, hang on. Let's go back. What's quality of life like here in Arizona?
In Arizona, I think we're relatively fine.
Normal health, like there's not like a weird windy. You know what I'm saying? At what point? Like how far?
So, and where does it hit the jet streams? Where it's going to fall? That I don't know, but I have seen. Nuclear like sites or like attacks, like the radius or you'd be safe from. We're pretty safe. Even if I think
what about in LA?
I think even if LA got hit, I think I remember seeing that we would still be okay.
But quality of life might be weird.
It might be. I mean, because if that contaminates the Colorado River, then yeah, we're screwed because we get a lot of our water from the Colorado River.
Yeah, it makes you just wonder.
And the thing that is crazy to me is one, there are people that survived the bombs, the nuclear bombs, the atom bombs, I should say, in Nagasaki and why can't I think of the other Japanese place that got hit?
Hiroshima.
Mm-hmm. And there are people that survived those and they lived a long time, but they're Japanese and Japanese people live for freaking ever. So
rice and sushi.
Yeah. And dude. And I've like watched lots of interviews with these people, but like those were atom bombs. They aren't even close to as powerful as what the bombs are now. Not even close.
Yeah. You just wonder.
Yeah. And those bombs, I mean, have you seen the videos of when those things hit? Like, dude, and to think that those were not even the most powerful bombs, that's crazy. I mean, they killed hundreds of thousands of people in a second.
How big is a nuclear bomb? No, like the actual bomb itself that gets released from a plane or goes off on the ground.
Yeah.
How big is it? Like I want to say it's got to be the size of a bus. It's not.
No.
It's probably the size of a
the size of a table.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that can take out that many people.
Yeah, that can take out a freaking island, man. Did you ever see? The movie? What they just did? Oh, gosh, why can't I think of the name? It was all about the Manhattan Project.
No. I'm sure I haven't watched a new movie in a long time.
Oh, you haven't?
I watched reruns.
Oppenheimer. That's what it was. Oppenheimer.
Definitely not.
You didn't see it when they came, the Barbie and Oppenheimer came out at the same time? You know, Barbenheimer, this one? Anyway, it's long. It's long. But in the movie, it's really, really cool. And the reason why I think it's really cool is because they bring up things that I never even considered. But like one of the things that the scientists were scared about when it came to creating an atom bomb was they thought that literally if they set off this bomb, the chain reaction it would create would literally turn the entire atmosphere on fire. Like the entire world would be wiped out. Because of this chain reaction of atoms exploding would go up into the atmosphere and everywhere around the world would turn into a giant fireball. Like, that's freaking terrifying, dude.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't. I mean, that literally would wipe out human life or life on Earth. Bacteria might survive. I don't know. That's some nutso stuff, dude, to think about. Like how scary things can get. And dude, The thing, dude, our parents grew up in that, man. They were told to duck and cover in schools. Like, all right, get underneath your
I know, my
desk.
biggest fear was aliens coming in after watching Independence Day,
dude.
Now that would be, like, think about that, bro. How far
Men
did
in
that
Black.
go? How far did that go where, like, that thing comes out of the sky and then everything turns into a giant fireball?
Dude, that's still one of the coolest movies ever.
Yeah,
I still watch it every year. And I look forward to watching it every year.
I love when he punches the alien. He's like, welcome to Earth.
Yeah. Dude, I could have been at a barbecue. Dude.
He should have said, keep my wife's name out your mouth.
I was going to say, dude, how far have we gone from the Will Smith we all loved?
So far.
Dude, it's so sad, man. That guy was money. He was freaking money for so long. Like, he came out with the movie. We were to see it. Yeah. And I don't remember the last time I felt that way about him.
The only movies I've seen of his recently are Bad Boys.
Okay.
Like the Bride or Die, like all the new ones, right?
But I mean, like, did you see King Richard?
Nope.
I didn't see it. I heard it was good.
Aladdin was terrible because
never watched
he was not
Aladdin.
a good genie.
And dude, I wasn't going to watch it because you're not replacing Robin Williams.
Well, and that's the thing, right?
That.
Like, I think he would have done fine if he would have done his own version of it, but instead he tried to do his own version of Robin Williams. And you can't do that, bro.
No.
Like, you're not that, like, you're just not him.
Robin Williams is one of one. He's a genius on his own. Like, you're not going to be able to do that.
You should have created a whole different character for him to do his own little thing, and he didn't. They tried to be him.
No, see, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Because like I said, to me, he's a one of one. You're not going to duplicate that.
Not even close.
So there's that, and then like I said, I can't think of. He's done other movies. He did the what was it called? Emancipated. It was a slavery movie on Apple TV. I meant to watch it, never did. But like, dude, I Am Legend. I'm gonna go see it.
Oh, the second one?
No. I mean, like when he was going through his stretch, man, it was from Independence Day all the way to, and I'm including Wild West in that, by the way.
Wild West.
Wild West.
Absolutely.
So I'm going from Independence Day probably all the way up until oh gosh,
Pursuit of Happiness was really good.
It was good.
For his, like, that was a good solid, like, that was just a good movie.
Yeah.
Good core movie. But
it was a really good movie. Gosh dang, I can't remember the name of it. It's with him and Charlize Theron, Jason Bateman, where he's like, he's a god on earth, but he's...
Hancock.
It was all the way, that whole stretch. Yeah. He's coming out with the movie, I'm watching it. And it was after that where I'm kind of like, yeah, maybe not.
Hancock pissed me off because I hate the way he flew.
Dude, the thing that pissed me off about it, it could have been so awesome.
Yeah, I just hated how they made... I didn't mind him being a drunk and all that stuff.
Kind of cool.
I just hated the way he, like, flew like he was just kind of flying. And I'm like, no, bro, Superman flew very direct, bro.
But that's what makes him funny, because he's a drunk.
Yeah,
like, he's like this... But the thing that drove me nuts, I feel like it literally just ended. Like, they ran out of money. Like, okay, well, cut. Yeah. Like, come on, wrap this up a little bit better than this. Like, it was a terrible ending.
But that was it.
Yeah, dude, that was it.
After that, I don't watch... I don't even know. Like, I couldn't tell you what movies he's been in recently at all.
No.
Other than the Bad Boy remake or continuation.
Yeah,
3 came and then 4 came.
So I can say, I think it was King Richard. I think it was a movie Emancipated, but I don't know. It's just after that, it's like, I don't know, dude. I don't know what happened to this guy, man. He was America's sweetheart.
Yeah.
Anything this guy did,
and
we were all on board with it.
Smacked Chris Rock in the mouth.
I think it was down before that, dude. He was down before that. Like, that was just like the culmination of like, oh yeah, this guy's, he's lost it, man. And it's sad because you look at it and like, all for Jada Pinkett Smith? I mean, I don't want to talk crap about someone's wife, but bro, she ain't worth giving it all up for.
No, she's not at all.
No, I mean, I don't know, dude. I feel like Will Smith could have done way better than that.
Okay, so you've got like Bad Boys, the whole thing, Aladdin, Pursuit of Happiness, I Am Legend, Independence Day.
Love it.
And there's King Richard, iRobot.
Love it.
Focus.
Oh, you know what? That was with Margot Robbie. I meant to see that. I never did.
Shark Tale when he was the voice of the that was cool.
Yeah.
Men in Black stuff.
Love it.
Oh, Hitch. Great movie.
Freaking love it.
Great movie.
Love Hitch.
Suicide Squad,
It was okay.
I didn't really care for it.
It was fine.
He was Ali.
Oh, I never saw Ali, but
so
I think he almost won an Oscar for that one, though. Like,
yeah, right. No, yeah, and then Hancock, obviously.
Yeah,
actually, and this movie too. I forgot about this. Is Enemy of the State. I really liked.
Yeah, that's a good movie. That's a really good movie. Gene Hackman.
Yep.
Yeah,
and then you've got Gemini Man. Never saw it.
Terrible.
Concussion.
So the thing about Gemini Man, another one of the cool concept that just the execution was bad. And what was it when you said after that
one? Gemini Man, and then Concussion.
Oh, that's the one where he plays the doctor that discovered the CTE effects in NFL players.
And then you have 7 Pounds.
Heard about that one? Never saw it?
The Legend of Bagger Vance.
You know, that one was a sad one because the only reason he's in it, because this is the definition of a DEI. They had to have a black guy in this story.
So dumb.
And he didn't even, the thing is, it's a true story where this guy didn't even exist. Like, he's not even a part of it, but anyway.
Wild Wild West.
Yep.
6 Degrees of Separation.
6 Degrees of Separation.
Collateral Beauty. Emancipation. Bright.
Oh, that's that Netflix movie. I never saw it. Tried to watch it like the first 5 minutes. I couldn't get into it.
And then the rest of this is stuff that I couldn't even, like, it's, I mean, that was roughly, that's his notable movies across the board. And you're like,
and how many of those were actually notable?
Right. Like, those are, I mean, you could probably, like, I mean, you saw 5 or 8, 7 of them of the 20 or so on here.
Yeah, but it's crazy because, like, dude, when he hit Independence Day, man, I feel like after that, we were off to the races, man.
Yeah, iRobot was great.
Yeah, iRobot was awesome.
We're living the movie. It's coming out.
Literally right now,
Did you see that robot that tried to attack the crowd?
No, what?
Oh, yeah, in China. In China,
of course it was in China.
Like, the robot's walking and, like, there's a crowd, and I don't know what happens, but the robot, like, bows up to the crowd like he's gonna fight the crowd. I'm like, here it comes, Skynet.
He wasn't given the 3 rules. He didn't know the 3 rules, man. They didn't give it the right 3 rules.
They can violate them now, though.
Yeah, that's not part of their life.
Nope.
All right, dude. So let's talk about it. I have officially hired you to turn me into something better than I am.
Which by June, bro, you should be. Here's the thing. This is not going to be an easy thing for you for about 3-4 weeks.
No, it's not.
After that, it'll get a routine where you'll just understand that, okay, this is what I'm going to do, whatever. But it is not going to be easy.
So here's the thing, as always, I worry about, I've got trips that I have to take, right? And I am not as dedicated as you are.
Well, no. So when are your trips?
So one is in Florida.
When? Not where?
May. Early May.
Okay.
And then in July.
Perfect.
Okay. And then October.
So, and those are fine, right? Because what you do is you prep for those the whole time. So like May, whatever it is, right? So the thing is you have to lock in between now and that trip. And then when you're on the trip, it's like, look, make as good a decisions as you can, but enjoy the trip. Like, you're not trying to restrict your lifestyle but then it's about not overeating, right? But I'm telling you, you'll get to a point, and by May, between now and May, when you eat something like crappy, you're going to feel like complete crap.
Yeah, that I know.
Where you won't want to. So it'll get to that point. It takes a little bit, but you'll finally get to the point where you're like, oh, this burger tastes so good. And you'll walk out, bubble guts, like burping, and you're like, why did I do that? I should have just had something healthier, right?
Yeah.
So that's not a problem. That's nothing to worry about.
So I am also, I told Shalay, I'm actually kind of excited about it because I try to get my other 2 buddies to do it with me. Okay. One of them's like, you know what? I'm gonna buy my own squat rack and I'll work out on my own.
He won't do it.
He did. He bought the rack. And I'm like, I don't know how much it's gonna make a difference because that's not your problem, bro.
Nope.
It's the fact that we have terrible diets. That's our problem. And then my other buddy, who listens to this, by the way, he texted me. He's like, hey, where's last week's show? Where's the show? And I was like, we just couldn't get it together. And he's like, get your crap together, man. I depend on this. But anyway, and he's like, no, I do a cold plunge. And I'm like whatever. I'm doing it on my own. I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. So officially, we start weighing this Friday, and we're starting on Monday. Mm-hmm. And so he sent me, got a meal plan that I got to do. Dude, the thing that actually does worry me is the exercises, the workouts. I'm like, I'm going to get hurt.
So that because
I'm freaking fragile now.
But that on there is just so like a lot of that's for people that don't know what to do, right?
Yeah.
You know how to do chest day. You know how to do back day. You know, those are things you don't have to do anything crazy. There's some other stuff on there for like legs and stuff that you don't have the machines here for because you do everything out of here.
Yeah.
Right. So you make the best of it, right? You don't need much, but it's not even about those exercises. It's about exercising. But a lot of people go into it. And some people have never been in a gym, or they've only been in a commercial gym 1 or 2 times. And they're very intimidated by it, so they don't know what to do. That's just an easy way for you to say, okay, there's no guessing here, right? Like I told you, if you do this, I'll give you everything. There should be no guessing. All you'll have to do is eat, sleep, work out, and cook. That's it.
And that's the thing. I don't want to guess because what I've been doing is, and we never talked about this, like, I don't remember what was the percentages I send you, like the percentage of people out there that can bench 225 is this. And I remember being like, no way, there's no way that's, because I mean, I'm not somebody that I would say is a super strong person. I wouldn't claim to be that, but I throw 225 around pretty easily. Like I don't have a problem with that. Like I think the most I've ever done was I did 350, on a bench, 315 twice.
Yeah.
Right. I'm pretty sure I can do that more than that now, but I wouldn't consider myself to be a super strong guy. But I can work my arms and my chest. I'm terrible at everything else because anytime I start doing squats or deadlifts, I hurt my back, and then I'm out for like a while. And so I'm like, that's the thing is I don't want to be knocked out. Like I want to be able to do whatever it is I'm doing continually.
Dude, for what you have right here, like I wouldn't even put back squat on. That's not even something you have to do. Like,
see, dude, I have a leg press machine. I just can't find a place to put it. Like I have it. It's in boxes. I need to assemble it. I don't have anywhere to assemble it.
Yeah. Because
I want to put it somewhere.
That would be huge. Just that kind of thing. But even then, dude, you have plates and stuff here, dude. You step like your heels on like a plate. So you're kind of up like this.
Yeah.
And you put the plate right here and just squat down. Do sets of 15 or 20, right? You're not trying to, I mean, so as I've gotten older, I've learned that I want to look like I can lift a lot of weight. I don't care if I can lift a lot of weight.
See, that's a hard thing for my brain to comprehend.
You have to switch. And the thing is, you're getting hurt when you're doing heavy stuff, right? Your back or whatever. Once you make that switch where you're like you just said, I can throw around 225. I thought to myself, I could probably do it a few times for sure. Like, even though I look like I should do it 100 times.
Bro, I've watched you box squat 450. So don't be throwing this crap at me. I know how strong you are.
I just did 505 pounds today.
That's what I'm saying. I know how strong you are.
But that's my legs, right? So, but that's like, but upper body, because I've got a bad shoulder. So I'm like, but I just stay away from, I'll use the machines and stuff, but you don't need to have heavy weight anymore. And you're at that age. Why does it matter, dude? Like, you want functional stuff, dude. You want to be able to put up 225 a few times. Sure.
Here's actually the reason why I worry about strength. Do you know the number one indicator for life expectancy is?
Muscle tissue,
leg strength,
or leg strength
specifically, because people fall down, they can't get up.
My father-in-law fell down today.
And he's old.
Yeah, he's 75. My mother-in-law had to call. She put out a group text. Everyone on the group text, "Hey, I can't pick him up. I need help." Well, everybody's working and not there. Yeah. So we had to call a kid out of high school, a nephew or a grandson out of high school to come over and help him get up. And I'm like, I don't want that.
And that's the thing is, like, number one. What are the number? I shouldn't say the number one. I mean, depending on whose study you're reading.
No, really.
But like one of the best indicators is the ability to use your feet and legs.
Well, and I think I sent you something a long time ago about this specific thing, and it showed a guy or somebody, a human in their 70s with no leg muscle, and it was like they were fragile, and then it's the other one with some leg muscle, and it's their quality of life is way better.
Yeah. There was another doctor. This guy was like 102, 103 years old. I can't remember. He was an old doctor, but he looked like he was 85, which is old looking.
Yeah.
Not 103 years old looking. Like, there's a huge difference in those ages. And anyway, he was talking about, it's like that one of the best things that you can do in life, if you want to extend your life, is exercise every day. He said, the person that smokes, drinks, does drugs, but exercises every day will outlive the person who does none of those things and doesn't exercise.
Yep.
And that to me is like one of those things where I'm like, okay, well, I exercise every day, but I don't exercise maybe the right way, which is the reason why I'm overweight.
Yeah.
I mean, by technical definition, I'm obese.
Well, so am I, but
there's a difference between, like, literally, if we stood in front of that mirror, we took our shirts off, you look at me like, yeah, you're like, that guy's obese. Like, I mean, okay. And I look at this guy and be like, that guy belongs in a movie. Like, there's different levels there. Saying,
I
know, but like,
the BMI thing's a joke.
Yeah, the BMI is a joke because it really doesn't take into consideration anything else other than height and weight. Like that.
Like,
that doesn't mean anything.
Nope.
But like I said, I know I'm strong enough to do some things, but like, I want to look like it. And I also want to feel healthy.
Well, dude, and that's what I was thinking too is, so I go to EOS, right?
Yeah.
Dude, we can go to EOS. You can come with me once a week on a day of just a different workout or whatever.
I will promise you I will not do that.
It's free.
Well, here's what I told you this.
I know.
There's no place on earth I hate being more than the gym.
But when you go put the purpose with somebody else, it's a little different, right? Like, I get why you would hate a commercial gym if you're going, but like, you show up maybe even once a month. Hey, we'll go work out. Let's go do legs once a month. And we'll destroy your legs at a commercial gym where you won't even squat. You won't even back squat. But you'll be walking like a newborn giraffe when you walk out, right? Or I'll tell you what, dude, you have a bench, right?
Yeah.
Bulgarian split squats?
Split squats, yeah.
Bro, so I forget how bad they are, and then I do them again, and I'm sore for like 3 days. I'm like, I hate it.
So listen, the internet's great, right? It's terrible too, but it's great. One of my favorite things was these reels of these just yoked guys, and they're like, hey, you know what? You're getting hurt doing Bulgarian split squats, leg workout hurting. Let me show you an easier way. He's like, what you do is you get a bench. The guy walks off screen, comes back, brings the bench down. So you sit down, and then you do chest. And I laugh doesn't matter. Every time I laugh.
My buddy sends me this stuff all the time.
Every single time I laugh, because like, I get it. Because that's literally like the idea of doing legs. I want strong legs, but I don't want to hurt so bad the next day. I did chest this morning. I'm fine.
Yeah, you got to push through the leg.
I mean, like I said, there's a little soreness there, but like, I'm fine.
But that'll go after a few weeks of it. Just pushing through the first 3 or 4 weeks of legs. And again, it's not about killing your legs with heavy weight. It's just about real like time under tension and real like getting back into legs, bro.
So the diet's obviously gonna be tough.
Yeah. So what's your biggest concern with the diet when you look at it?
Rice.
So good. Volume of things is going to be hard at first. I can tell you that. It's just you're not going to be used to the volume. So it literally don't just eat till you're full and then stop. Like don't be afraid to throw away the rice and the chicken or whatever's left, right?
Yeah.
I will tell you if you need to figure out a way to drink the egg whites, and because it is a cup and a half of egg, I think I have you at a cup of egg whites right now, or maybe a cup and a half actually. Dude, it's a lot when they've cooked. And if you can't, like you talk about volume, it's just, I'm telling you, you get this Skinny Mixes syrup that's like chocolate. You squirt it in there, shake it up, bro. It's chocolate milk, I swear. And everybody I've told this to thinks I'm crazy. We've talked about this before, but everybody that does it is like, you're right. It doesn't taste like anything because it doesn't have the consistency. And you can get these cartons of egg whites. Costco's the best place for them, but they're just the cheapest there, I think. But yeah, dude, it's the only way to go, man. But it's volume is going to be a problem at first, but you'll be fine. You just have to eat until you're full.
I guess I don't worry about the volume so much. It's the, like I said, I've never been a rice guy. Never. And
well, that's why, like, you can do potatoes. We can move that. If you have an air fryer, like I lived off of red potatoes the first time I did when I started this. Like I would just do, I dice up red potatoes enough, and then I put them in the air fryer, and they'd almost be like fried potatoes. Yeah. But they were fine. You know.
Yeah. I can if I can do a red potato substitute, I can if I can eat potatoes like crazy.
You just hate rice that bad? Like
no, it's not that I hate it. It's just that look, I don't like it. Like it's if we were to go out to eat and let's say the options are mashed potatoes and gravy or rice and gravy, I'll take the mashed potatoes. Will I eat the rice and gravy? Yeah, I'll eat it. I don't prefer it. Like about the only time I remember the very first time in my life where I was like, you know what, rice isn't that bad. My mom made stir fry. And I had stir fry over rice. I'm like, okay, this is not so bad. Well, because of all the crap I put on the rice. The rice was completely covered.
Well, and the reality is once you start, as you're starting this out, the first 3 weeks are going to be an adjustment, just trying to figure out what you like, what you don't like. It'll be a lot of like, hey, what sauces can I use or can I add this to it, like Red Hot or whatever you're into. I'm a big Red Hot guy. I love that thing, but that may not work for you. But you can get a sugar-free sauce, right? These barbecue sauces, and now you put that on top of your chicken and rice. And it doesn't taste like it just changes the flavor profile of the rice. So you're like, you know what, this isn't bad. Yeah. But you're going to have to dabble in those little things. The thing is not dabbling into the sugary stuff and all that crap or ranch dressing, right? Like everything tastes good when you lather it in enough ranch.
Enough fat. Yeah. You know? That's the thing is I don't know. I remember the most successful thing I ever did was basically I had a fried egg every morning. I had a tuna fish sandwich for lunch every day. And I had a chicken breast with broccoli every night. And I still allowed myself like a cup and a half of like ice cream, whatever it was. And with a protein shake mixed in whenever I worked out right after. And I did really good. That was easily the best I've ever done. I really never got sick of the taste of anything. Everything was fine. Like I did it no problem. You know, so I don't know that I worry so much about losing like the flavor getting to me. Maybe I will get tired of it as long as I can have some like, I don't know, you said the Fridays, as long as I get something on the weekends where I can do it.
You can do a light, I don't know if I have to look again for like a light cheat meal we can even throw in there too, where you have like a sub sandwich or a Chipotle or something simple, right? Or Texas Roadhouse, you get a steak and potato, right? Something like that where you're good to go, but the rest of the time you're back on. And then the one meal you live for. That's what I lived for. You live for it.
Dude, I know. I remember watching
every Friday. I'm like, I can't wait. You know, but,
it really makes Friday great.
Well, and now I really like, I honestly don't even like to eat junk. Like, I mean, yes, in the moment, I'm like, like we had a soccer banquet on Monday, right? Yeah. They had Olive Garden. I don't even remember the last time I had Olive Garden. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to try it out. Have me some lasagna. Bro, I'm telling you right now, it took 25 minutes from when I ate it to when I was on the pooper.
Okay, dude.
And I ate good the rest of the whole day before, so I know it wasn't anything I had for lunch because I ate normal chicken and rice. I had my almonds or whatever I'm eating. Dude, 25 minutes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to make it.
That I don't worry about because I don't like Italian food.
Well, you're going to be fine with it. It's going to happen no matter what you do. Yeah. It happens to everybody. Once you get on where your body is like, okay, I'm eating clean and I'm used to this, and you interject some stuff, like I don't know what your cheat meal is going to be, but it could be your little Chinese food down the place, and all of a sudden you're just going to be like, oh dude, that was so good, but I am miserable.
See, I think one of the biggest, the two biggest motivators for me, one, looking good for my wife. I want my wife to want me all the time. That's what every husband wants, right? Yeah. I want that. Two, I really want to set the example for my kids. Mm-hmm. I don't want them, I guess, dude, I worry about the diet in this country a lot.
Dude.
And I especially worry about it in my family because we have my wife, my kids, my family, right? Because I don't eat the way I was raised. My mom made dinner every night.
Yeah.
And we had a protein, we had a vegetable, and there was a bread. Like, that's what we had every time. And we didn't have just pasta with nothing else. Like, we didn't do that. We had like a full meal every single night. And when I moved out, I didn't do that anymore. Because it's hard. Like, that's not easy. It's not easy putting together a full spread every single night. So it's like, I didn't do that. And I'm like, I got to do something to be able to set the example for my kids that, no, you got to do this or else you end up the way I am now. So, but I'm excited for it, dude. I'm going to do it.
I'm telling you, it's going to be, the first couple of weeks will be an adjustment. And then once you figure out how to do your meal prep, what day works for you to meal prep all your food. I mean, I would meal prep as much as you can ahead of time, especially your chicken and stuff. Cause that's the thing with like rice versus potatoes and stuff, like jasmine rice specifically, it reheats so much better than most of the other stuff later. Like, I eat it 7 days after I've cooked it and it still reheats good enough to taste where I'm like, I don't like that. It's not hard. It's not. So that's why I got really into rice, was that specific jasmine rice, was because it just tasted better longer. So I could meal prep for 7 days and I don't have to worry about, I got to cook again because I did when I first started, I was meal prepping twice a week. Yeah. And I got to take it. Then at night, your night's taken up, right? Where you're on a Wednesday or a Thursday where I'm like, I got to cook 5 pounds of chicken. I got to do all this stuff. Yeah. I don't have time for that right now, and then measure it out and then cut it up and get scissors, by the way. It's so much easier to cut with scissors.
You told me that.
Yeah. So, but
all right, dude. Well,
it's going to be fun.
Don't breathe. Breed.
That was so good. What a classic.
Got anything else, man?
No, I'm good. I'm going to leave it at that.
Good way to end that one. All right.
The JJ and Pug Show theme song is written, composed, and performed by Lane Hartman. Thank you to Highland Communities for the support of our show. You can find the JJ and Pug Show on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and anywhere you listen to your podcast. Just Google us if you're confused. Remember to share the show with your friends and family. Subscribe wherever you listen. Buy a shirt, reach out to us, and place an order. Each shirt is $20, and if we can hand deliver it, we will, but if we have to ship it, it'll be $25. If you're able, feel free to support us by sending a donation to us by going to kfo.com/the JJ and Pug Show. That's ko-fi.com/the JJ and Pug Show. And thanks again to all who listen. We really appreciate your support for our show, and we hope to continue to grow.